Discover the sinister truths of dreaming. 7 spine-chilling secrets revealed to haunt your sleep. Emily had always felt a shiver run down her spine when the sun dipped below the horizon. It wasn't just the encroaching darkness. It was the fear that twisted in her gut, whispering secrets of danger lurking just beyond her well-manicured lawn. Alone, with only her daughter Lily's soft snores filling the air, she slipped into a fitful sleep after yet another grueling shift at the diner. With each passing night, the world she thought she knew twisted into a nightmarish landscape, shadows creeping in where her trusted suburban neighbors once stood. In her dreams, the faces she recognized, the woman who waved from the mailbox, the friendly father down the street, warped into gaunt specters, their smiles stretched too wide and their eyes glinting with malevolence. The whispers of the wind carried their rotten secrets, so tangibly real they chilled her to the bone. Emily awoke, drenched in cold sweat, her heart racing, convinced it was just stress. But each night revealed horrific truths, vivid visions that left her gasping for breath, the veil between sleep and reality ripping apart. As the days turned into nights, one dream stood out. A flash of sirens blaring through her quiet neighborhood, chaos erupting in the once peaceful streets. She stood there helpless, screaming warnings to disbelieving faces that once smiled at her. "You're just tired, Emily. Get some sleep," they'd say, dismissing her for worrying too much. But after that dream, an unsettling dread took root in her heart. Was it madness, or was there something hauntingly real in her visions? Before we continue, I need to tell you something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to their system, and many people are missing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and select all notifications so you don't miss future videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. The night after she saw it, dread crawled under her skin. She couldn't shake the feeling that Mr. Grant, her polished neighbor with the perfect lawn and even more perfect smile, was at the center of her nightmares. He had always been too friendly, too willing to help with a fake warmth that reeked of deceit. Driven by angst and maternal instinct, Emily faced a disquieting decision: investigate this wholesome facade that masked darkness. Cloaked in fear, she plunged into the unknown world of online forums, unveiling threads about urban legends and sinister tales buried beneath the suburban surface. Each click and scroll laid bare the sordid pasts of her neighbors, shadows of something ominous lurking beneath their polished exteriors. The laughter from children playing outside echoed mockingly, as if they were aware of a secret she was not. As night draped itself over the neighborhood again, uncertainty wrapped around her, both comforting and terrifying. Emily glanced outside, dread pooling in her chest as she spotted Mr. Grant on his porch, the unsettling grin contorting his features. She couldn't shake the feeling that those dreams were a prelude to something inevitable. A threat lurked closer than she dared imagine, and with every moment, it shadowed her vigil, inching further into her reality. In the silence, a single thought ricocheted through her mind. Who could she trust when the line between nightmare and reality blurred? With Lily safely behind closed doors, Emily steeled herself, knowing that the truth awaited her, lurking and sinister, close enough to draw a breath of chilling air down her spine. And she was determined to expose it, even if the night screamed for silence. The clock ticked ominously, each second a countdown to the unknown. Emily's heart drummed a frantic rhythm against her ribs as she settled in front of her computer, the cold blue glow illuminating her face. She needed answers. Shadows wrapped around her like an unwanted embrace. What had she stumbled into? As she tapped into the dark corners of the web, she stumbled upon a chilling blog titled "Whispers of the Neighborhood." The posts were filled with unnerving tales, each narrating bizarre occurrences that had plagued her seemingly perfect suburb. Tales of disappearances, encounters with dark figures in the night, and strange rituals conducted under the cover of darkness. Every story pieced together a narrative of paranoia and fear, each one more harrowing than the last. Emily's fingers trembled as she read. "They come for the children," one post warned, "when the moon is full and shadows grow long." Her breath hitched. Lily was just a child, innocent and defenseless. The thought coiled around her gut, squeezing tightly. Suddenly, a loud crash echoed from the kitchen, snapping her from her thoughts. Heart racing, she rushed to the sound, dread weighing her down with each step. As she neared, the air turned stifling and thick with an unseen presence. The faint glow of the fridge light flickered, dancing shadows twisting into grotesque forms. "Lily!" she called, voice cracking. Silence answered. She pushed the kitchen door wide, and there it was. The fridge door was ajar, swinging slowly as if inviting her into the chilling abyss. Fear clawed at her, but she stepped inside, looking for the source of the noise. The detritus of dinner lay scattered, an overturned chair, crumbs littering the floor. But then she noticed something alarming. A small footprint, impossibly narrow, trailing toward the back door. "Lily!" Panic flooded her voice now. She stumbled back outside, following the trail. She caught a glimpse of movement in the yard, a figure darting behind the trees, cloaked in darkness. It felt familiar, yet wrong. Whoever or whatever was lurking was not just a figment of her imagination. Heart pounding, she raced to the trees, calling for her daughter again. The neighborhood had grown eerily still. The laughter that once filled the air now replaced with a suffocating blanket silence. There were no lights in the other houses, only shadows creeping along the windows, sharp and hungry. The figure stopped, half hidden in the shadows, and turned toward her. It was a child, her heart shattered with dread. "Lily?" Emily took a step closer, fear and hope battling within her. But as she neared, the child flickered like a flame, the features shifting. The face morphed, revealing a twisted grin, and Emily stumbled back, realizing this wasn't her daughter at all. "It's your fault," the figure hissed, voice raspy, as if the air itself had been corrupted. "You saw too much." Emily's breath caught in her throat. From somewhere in the distance, sirens wailed, the sound distorted and warped. This was just the beginning, she realized, a warning sent from the edge of her sanity. Without warning, the child thing lunged at her, its jagged teeth snapping inches from her face. She turned, fleeing back towards the safety of her home. But as she ran, laughter echoed through the night. A chorus of voices she once knew, mocking her terror, urging her to look behind. Breathless and trembling, Emily bolted for the door, slamming it shut and locking it tight. But the chilling laughter continued, seeping through the cracks, a reminder that monsters wore familiar faces. "Help me!" she screamed to the darkness, knowing in that moment she was racing against time. Was she too late to save Lily? But deep down, another chilling thought emerged. What if the threat was already inside? Emily's heart sank as her eyes landed on the darkened corner of her living room, where shadows danced like tormented spirits. Someone or something was waiting for her. Through the fear, a question loomed. How could she fight an enemy who had already claimed her trust? The air prickled with tension, thick and suffocating. Emily stood at the door, heart racing, struggling to catch her breath. Shadows congealed in the corners, but the most menacing one seemed to shift closer, inching toward her like a predator poised to strike. She squeezed her eyes shut, willing the nightmare to unravel. But the laughter still danced in her ears, a haunting taunt that echoed her paralysis. "Lily?" she called out again, desperation surging within her. "Where are you?" Her voice trembled, filled with a fear she had never known. No answer. Just that insatiable silence settled like a heavy fog. The clock on the wall ticked, each sound amplifying her anxiety. She moved away from the door, instinctively edging toward the dark corner of the room where the shadows breathed. The initial flicker of hope that her daughter could still be safe began to wane, replaced with a gnawing dread. What had she let into their lives? Her breath quickened and she stumbled backward as the shadow in the corner took form. It wasn't just a void, it was a silhouette, a small figure emulating her daughter's shape yet devoid of any warmth. Emily squinted, tears welling in her eyes. She swore she could see flickers of light dancing off its edges, something both alluring and repulsive. "Lily?" she whispered feebly, inching closer. Perhaps it was just a trick of the light, a misguided ray shining on her daughter's lost spirit. But even as that tender thought wrapped around her, a deeper, crueler realization thrummed in her core. It wasn't her daughter. The figure shifted, the murky outline twisting and contorting, the familiar voice bubbling to the surface. "Mommy, why did you leave me?" The shadow croaked, a chilling rasp that pierced through Emily's soul. "Lily," she cried, fists clenched, struggling to stay rooted. "I didn't leave you. Where are you?" The shadow flickered again, edging forward, its grin widening as if savoring her pain. "You'll never find her. She's with me now, in the darkness where you can't reach." Emily felt the floor beneath her shift, as if the very ground were pulling away. Panic surged through her, and she lunged to grab a nearby lamp. It was a weak weapon, but it was all she had. "Get back! Just show me where she is!" The figure's laughter pierced the air, a cacophony that resonated in her mind. "You think you can fight me? I am your fear, your doubt. I thrive in your grief." With a surge of adrenaline, Emily hurled the lamp toward the source of the sound. The glass shattered, sending shards of light into the gloom. But instead of diminishing, the darkness seemed to swell, eating the light and amplifying the laughter into a wild pitch. "Help me!" a faint voice echoed from the depths of her mind. Was that Lily? An anguished plea filtered through, but it faded into the howls of despair. "Stop!" Emily yelled, eyes darting to every nook of the room, looking for her child. "You can't have her! I won't let you!" Suddenly, the air blazed with heat, and a trembling howl arose from the shadow. It shifted, blurry and unstable, as if a storm raged within. Emily took a step back, gripped by fear, caught between fighting and fleeing. And then it happened. A flicker of light surged in that dark corner, and through the tumult she saw a glimpse of something, a small hand reaching out, eyes wide with fear. The light dimmed, swallowed by shadows once again, and the laughter stopped abruptly. In its place, a whisper curled around her. "Come find her." Without thinking, Emily charged forward, fueled by resolve and desperation. Shadows lunged at her, clawing and gnashing, but she forced herself through, bracing against the darkness. What awaited her on the other side? With her heart pounding, she pushed through the shadows, knowing each step might lead her deeper into danger. Somehow, she could feel that she was closer. But would she find Lily, or lose herself to the depths where only nightmares thrived? Walls began to tremble as she moved, and a chilling thought gripped her. The truth clawed at the edges of her memory, threatening to pour forth. What if saving her daughter meant clashing against her own buried fears? The darkness churned excitedly, and the air thickened once more as she pressed onward. Come find her. Somewhere in the haze, that haunting call lingered. With every heartbeat drawing her deeper, she knew the answer awaited. But so did the ultimate confrontation. Emily's heart raced as she forged deeper into the shadows. The air turned colder, almost numbing her skin. She could feel claws of fear wrapping around her throat, squeezing tighter with every step. Sweat trickled down her spine, its chill a stark contrast to the suffocating heat that emanated from the darkness. The dreadful whisper echoed around her, charging the atmosphere with malevolence. Come find her. She pressed on, driven by the flicker of light she had glimpsed. Was it real? Had she just imagined it? The uncertainty gnawed at her mind like rats in a decaying house. But she couldn't stop now. No, she wouldn't, at least not until she found Lily. Suddenly, a piercing scream sliced through the murk, a sound so familiar, so devastatingly close. Emily froze, her stomach dropping like a stone. "Lily!" she screamed, but her voice was swallowed by the oppressive shadows. The wall shifted, pulsating as if alive. Each movement set her teeth on edge. The room was against her, the very essence of her surroundings conspiring to lure her away from her goal. She couldn't allow it, not like this. "Lily!" Her voice broke, desperation flooding her again like a wave crashing onto rock. A soft whimpering sound came from a distant corner, a pitiful reminder of everything at stake. The whispering shadow grew impulsive, swirling chaotically, as if angered by her determination. "Lily, help me." Each word felt like a blade thrust into Emily's heart. Time blurred, and she didn't know how long she had been navigating the dark depths. Was that really her daughter, or another cruel trick of the specter that haunted her every thought? Yes, the darkness crooned, its voice sultry and twisted, wrapping around her mind. Doesn't the longing gnaw at you? Wouldn't you give anything to hold her again? No! Her own strength surprised her, almost glowing against the inky void. "I will find her. I will save her." The shadows hesitated, retreating just a fraction, leaving behind an unsettling silence. But it was short-lived. With a howl that shook her bones, they surged back, more violent than before, stretching like greedy fingers toward her. Her instincts kicked in. The brush of cold fingers grazed her cheek, and in that single moment, a horrifying vision poured into her mind. She saw herself, the happy mother, the laughter shared, the bedtime stories. But it blurred, it twisted grotesquely into a nightmare of her own making. A sense of failure washed over her. Guilt for losing Lily danced in her head. Was this the true terror? The specter feeding off her despair? Suddenly, a light flickered again. This time, it shimmered more brightly, cutting through the shadows like a beacon. She felt it pull her forward, a magnetic connection. "Mommy!" That cry, it pierced her heart with hope and terror. Instinctively, she lunged toward it, pushing through the grasping shadows that shrieked and moaned in frustration. But the deeper she went, the thicker and more suffocating the darkness became. Small hands grasped onto hers again, a fleeting sensation that sparked a flicker of courage. For a heartbeat, hope flared. In that moment, the shadows recoiled, but then exploded outward in a void of chaos. "Come find her," the voice taunted her, growing louder and more distorted. "Face your darkness, face your truth." Emily's breath hitched, lungs constricted as she grappled with the swirling images in her mind. The walls around her began to close in, tightening the grip of nightmares clinging to her sanity. What if she wasn't just searching for Lily? What if she was entangled in a web of her own fractured soul? With every surge of courage she found, the darkness shifted, revealing horrifying truths she had buried deep. The shadows were not just her fears, they were her past. "Lily!" she screamed, voice trembling with urgency. "Just hold on, I'm coming." As the shadows faltered for a moment, Emily caught a glimpse of a door in the distance, a faded wooden frame glowing faintly amid the black. Hope surged anew, pulling her toward it. But as she sprinted ahead, the darkness coiled around her legs, dragging her back. With one last desperate push, she broke free. The door loomed closer, but with every step she took, an eerie voice whispered through her, wrapping its tendrils around her resolve. Will you truly face what lies beyond? Emily bit her lip. Fear clawed at her throat, but she pressed on. What awaited her behind that door? The truth or an even darker nightmare? Only time would tell. Emily's fingers trembled as they reached for the door handle. The wood was cold beneath her touch, the atmosphere buzzing with an electric energy that made hair stand on end. She hesitated, the whispering shadows swirling behind her, urging her to turn back. "Mommy!" Lily's voice cried again, more desperate this time. The pain in her child's tone struck Emily like a physical blow. She couldn't let fear win. With a swift turn of the handle, the door swung open, revealing a blinding light that poured out into the darkness. Emily stepped through, and the chill of the shadows fell away like shreds of torn veil. In an instant, she found herself in a wide, well-lit corridor, unlike anything she had seen in this haunted place. Bright murals laced with colorful themes adorned the walls. Circus clowns, family picnics, and vivid landscapes painted with such warmth it sent a pang of longing through her heart. It was a sharply jarring contrast to the cold whispers of the dark room she'd just escaped, but dread settled heavily in her gut. This place felt wrong, deep down in her bones. It was too welcoming, too bright. "Lily!" she called, her voice echoing down the corridor, swallowed again by infinite silence. Ahead, she noticed doors, dozens of them, all identical, all slightly ajar. In a panic, she raced to the first one, flinging it open to reveal a dimly lit, empty room layered in dusty remnants of a lifelong forgotten. Frightened, she slammed it shut and moved to the next one, heart pounding. "Lily, where are you?" She opened door after door, finding nothing but emptiness, each room echoing her despair. Then she saw it, a flicker of movement just beyond the last door at the end of the hall. A small silhouette glimmering with light. "Lily!" This time she didn't hesitate. She rushed towards it, each footfall quickened by hope. But the flickering form danced just out of reach. As she drew closer, a sense of unease washed over her. The figure loomed larger, and as she reached out, it dissolved into the light, evaporating before she could grasp it. "Where are you?" Desperation clawed at Emily's heart, but the silence that answered felt like a promise twisted in shadows. Breathless, she backed away, clashing with one of the doors. It creaked open, and inside, a mirror caught her attention. Not just any mirror. This one shimmered as if alive. Emily stepped closer and gasped. It reflected a version of her that was tangled in shadows, her face twisted in agony and fear. "Look at yourself." The voice was coy, echoing through the corridor, swelling with confidence. "You are the weight that drags her down. Can you really save her?" "No, I can't believe this," Emily shouted, but the mirror began to ripple like water, pulling her in with its oppressive gravity. Each reflection contorted her self-perception. She saw shame, regret, and all the moments she felt she had failed Lily. You couldn't protect her then. Can you protect her now? Terror gnawed at her sanity as her own voice echoed back at her, trapping her in a loop of self-blame. "Emily," it cooed, wrapping around her like smoke, infiltrating her thoughts. "Face the truth." But there was a commotion in the hall. A door slammed, rattling the foundation of this illusion. Emily whirled around, breath catching in her throat. A new figure appeared through the corridor. Only this wasn't a memory. It was a new darkness, a tall shadow moving with an unnatural fluidity. She couldn't see its face, but the heat of malevolence radiated off it. The figure advanced, looming closer. "You seek her, but you will find only despair. Fear clamped around her heart like a vice. Emily stumbled backward, dread bubbling to the surface. Fear for her daughter, fear for herself. She had to escape the fangs of this new horror. As she turned to flee, Emily heard a child's laughter ripple through the air, familiar yet haunting. It sent chills down her spine. "Mommy, come play!" She froze. Was it really Lily? Was hope finally within reach? Was it too late to escape the truth lurking just behind that shadow? With each heartbeat, Emily felt the looming presence drawing ever closer, ready to snatch away any glimmer of hope. Desperation flooded her senses once more as she prepared to confront whatever darkness awaited her. The question loomed in her mind: would she find her daughter, or succumbing to the nightmare that threatened to consume them both? Emily's breath hitched as she turned, heart racing wildly. The corridor seemed to stretch impossibly, as if the laughing of her daughter echoed from somewhere deeper within. "Lily!" The voice twisted like a dagger. The shadow grew closer, each inch meeting resistance, not just physical, but in Emily's very spirit. Panic surged. She recalled the warmth of her daughter's hugs, the sweet scent of baby shampoo. Could it really be Lily? "Mommy!" The voice was so close now, beckoning her with a sickly sweetness, 2 parts joy and 1 part madness. She bolted down the hallway, skidding to a stop as she reached the source of the laughter, a door perpetually ajar, light spilling from within like molten gold. Adrenaline surged, urging her forward. As she pushed into the room, the light stung her eyes. Inside, she found a playroom, colorful toys scattered across the floor, a small table set with an absurd number of empty teacups. "Lily! Mommy!" From beneath a mound of plush toys, Lily emerged, her face lighting up with a wide, innocent smile. Every instinct screamed at Emily to run, but her daughter's smile bathed her in warmth and hope. Relief flooded through her. Oh, thank God! But as Emily reached for Lily, the girl's expression shifted. "Come play with us, Mommy!" A dozen more children appeared from the shadows, eyes glinting with unnatural mirth. They bounded towards her, singing a lullaby that sent shivers crawling up her spine. Each face twisted in a mocking semblance of joy. Emily stumbled back, dread pooling in her stomach. "No, this isn't right." "Don't you want to play?" one child asked, stepping too close. Its voice rang like a bell, pretty and horrifying all at once. "We play games every day." The air around her thickened. The laughter engulfed her, suffocating. Her gaze darted to Lily, whose sweet visage stood steadily among the laughing crowd, yet now seemed empty, vacant, a puppet to their chaos. "Mommy, join us!" Emily's heart thudded painfully against her chest. The children surrounded her now, laughter morphing into a cacophony of shrill giggles, mocking her. What was happening? The laughter grew louder, more frantic. It became a wave crashing against her sanity. Memories twisted, her mind grappling with what was safe and real. Then Emily caught a glimmer in the corner of her eye, the mirror from earlier. It shimmered behind Lily, reflecting not her daughter, but the darkness lurking within the room. The shadow moved again, a taunting figure just beyond her reach. "Mommy special," the shadow whispered, a chilling breath brushing against her neck. "She loves you." "Stop!" Emily shouted, clutching her head, fighting against the overwhelming tide of mirth and shadows. She had to break this spell before they all consume her, before Lily forgot who she truly was. In desperation, she lunged toward the mirror, but the children surged forward, blocking her path, their grins revealing teeth too sharp, too white. "You can't save her," they sang in unison. "You let her down." Emily felt anger bubble up, not just for herself, but for Lily, for all the time she had faltered as a mother. Despite the chilling laughter and dread closing around her, one thought surged through her. I will not lose her. Just as she turned to face the new reality, the ground trembled. The laughter briefly faltered. Shadows flickered as if uncertain. Emily seized the moment. "Get away from her!" she screamed, the power of her voice ricocheting against the walls. Light erupted from the mirror, blinding and fierce. She pressed forward, every fiber of her being clinging to hope that perhaps, just maybe. But as she collided with the glass, it rippled violently, throwing her back as shadows surged, chasing her down the corridor. "Mommy!" The cries of children melded with the shadows' laughter, echoing through the hall as the darkness began to swallow the once bright corridor. Would she make it to Lily? Would she break the illusion this time? Desperation surged in one final push. She turned to the mirror's fading image, a question embedded in her heart. Could she face her darkest fears for her daughter? The shadow loomed on her again, an inescapable truth lurking just behind the brightness. But the answer remained shrouded in uncertainty. The last gasp echoed in her mind as she ran toward the last door standing ajar, praying it led her home. "Where will you go?" the shadow whispered, chillingly close behind, ready to snatch away her final thread of hope. Emily plunged through the door, heart bumping against her ribcage like a trapped bird. The dark space beyond felt vast and empty, unlike the warmth of the playroom, stripped of the nauseating laughter. The door slammed shut behind her. She spun around, pressing her back against the cold wood, glancing frantically down a dimly lit corridor that twisted like a serpent. Shadows danced along the walls, flickering in and out like echoes of memories. Each step she took felt heavy, a lead weight anchoring her feet to the ground. "Lily!" her voice rasped, barely above a whisper. The silence answered with a suffocating calm, teasing her as if the world itself held its breath. But somewhere, deep in the corridor, she thought she could hear a faint rhythm. A heartbeat. Each pulse thrummed through her limbs, awakening an instinct buried deep beneath the terror. "Mommy." The voice was soft, a mere whisper but crystal clear, slicing through her fear. Without thinking, she stepped forward. With each cautious stride, more shapes emerged from the corners of her mind, distorting reality. Memories that twisted into grotesque forms. Flashes of a birthday party, the cake, giggles in the backyard. They flickered by. Faces of friends long gone, friends who might have never existed. "Mommy." This time, the call was urgent, tinged with an edge she recognized from the playroom. "Lily!" Emily shouted again, driven by instinct. She stepped faster, her feet finding a purpose. The corridor began to pulse with a life of its own, walls closing in, shadows stretching, as if clawing at her to turn back. With a rush, she reached a door at the corridor's end. It was old and carved with swirling patterns that seemed to shift under her gaze. It pulsed with a low, ominous hum. She hesitated, but a split second, then turned the handle. The door creaked open. The air inside felt electric, charged with an energy that made the hairs on her neck stand at attention. Emily stepped in. The room appeared to be a child's bedroom, but it was chaotic. Toys were scattered, books strewn about, every surface littered with unfinished projects. But there was no mistaking that the air was thick with despair. It reeked of forgotten dreams and lost laughter that haunted the corners. "Mommy," the voice came again, and this time it was unmistakably Lily. She turned toward the sound, finding her daughter standing in the corner, shrouded in shadows. But the innocence she longed to see was gone. "Why did you leave?" Lily asked, her voice echoing like shards of glass. Why didn't you come back? Confusion flooded Emily. I'm here! I'm right here, baby! But as she reached toward her, the shadows twisted around Lily's form, morphing into grotesque shapes. Emily staggered backward. What's happening? Mommy. The promise hung in the air, heavy and menacing. Shadows crept from the edges of the room, coiling around her ankles, pulling her closer to the wall where darkness swallowed the light. No, I was never going to leave you, Emily pleaded, feeling the chill of despair wrap around her like a shroud. They'll never let you go, Mommy. Lily's eyes reflected something very different now, an empty knowledge that made Emily's heart sink. Suddenly, the laughter erupted again, piercing and manic. It echoed through the chaos, resonating in every corner of the room. The children from the playroom dashed into view, their faces contorted in glee, eyes shining maliciously. They're coming for you, they chanted, the rhythm of their voices mingling with Lily's haunting tone. Emily felt the ground tremble, the walls pulsed, shaking violently. She had to act. Gathering every ounce of courage, she surged toward her daughter, grasping Lily's small shoulders. You have to listen to me. We can get out of here! Lily's expression shifted, her face wavering like a flame caught in a gust of wind. You let them in, Mommy! Panic clawed at Emily's throat. I can fix this, I swear, just trust me! The laughter intensified, drowning her pleas. The shadows loomed larger, engulfing the room as Emily realized her time was slipping away. What if I can't save you? She breathed, fear threatening to break her resolve. Then you'll be lost forever, Lily replied, her voice hollow and far away. With a desperate roar, Emily clutched her daughter tightly, whispering fierce promises she desperately hoped to keep. But the shadows pulsed, whispering hands pulling them apart, the laughter drowning out her cries. Give in, Emily. She could feel it slipping, her grasp on reality, on her daughter, everything. The room throbbed with darkness as despair wrapped around her, tightening its grip. Mommy! Came a final wail as the shadows surged forward. What would it cost her to challenge the darkness? Would she find the strength to face the nightmare or let it consume them both? Reality splintered under the weight of the shadows, twisting Emily's surroundings into a nightmarish blur. She felt as if she were being pulled into another realm, one layered with whispers and screams that clawed at her sanity. The darkness surged, the children's laughter now a cacophony of shrill echoes, coiling around her like barbed wire. Let her go, she screamed, fighting against the encroaching shadows. She felt panic turn to rage, but the darkness responded with laughter, sharp and mocking. It was a sound that pierced her, breaking her resolve. She glanced to Lily, who seemed to flicker in and out of focus, her face shifting between fear and something unrecognizable. Mommy, you have to wake up! The urgency in her daughter's voice felt like a lifeline, but the shadows were relentless, wrapping around Emily's legs and pulling her down. Fighting against the force, she screamed, I won't lose you, Lily, not again! With a surge of determination, Emily drew on her memory of every joyful moment they had shared. The afternoons spent in the sun, the bedtime stories that wove their lives together, the warmth of a hug that felt like home. She poured all her love into those thoughts, willing them to rip through the darkness. Suddenly, a bright light blazed through the shadows, a searing sunlight that illuminated the room. For a brief moment, the children's laughter faltered, replaced by screams of frustration as the shadows shrank back. Emily lunged and reached for Lily, who was still stuck in the corner, a silver of hope flickering in her eyes. But the light flickered like a dying flame, quickly overwhelmed by a rush of darkness. In those fleeting moments, Emily hesitated. That's when she saw it.
The corner of the room was shifting, twisting like a serpent, forming a maw of despair, ready to swallow them whole. "No!" she shouted, rushing toward Lily, drawing upon
Every ounce of courage. Heart racing, she grabbed her daughter's hand, feeling the chill of the shadows trying to snatch Lily away. "Come on, we can fight this together." A tremor of uncertainty coursed through her. Could they escape? Were they even real anymore? Would the world outside these walls accept them, or had they too been consumed by darkness? She couldn't give in to that line of thought. She had to believe in their strength. Just as they were about to break free from the shadow's grip, a powerful roar erupted from the darkness, a sound that shattered the air around them. "You can't leave. You're part of this now." A figure emerged from the shadows, tall and cloaked, with eyes glowing like embers. Emily stepped in front of Lily, instinctively shielding her from the figure's dark presence. "We're not yours to keep," she yelled, her voice trembling but resolute. The figure laughed, a sound full of malice. "You think you can defy the darkness? It thrives on your fear, Emily. Every moment you struggle only feeds it." As the entity advanced, the room vibrated with an energy so dark it felt alive. Emily felt Lily trembling beside her, but she locked eyes with her daughter, their bond weaving a strength neither of them had known. "Trust me," she whispered fiercely, "we'll find a way out." Desperation fueled her determination. With their hands firmly clasped together, she pulled her daughter closer. "What do you want with us?" she shouted at the figure, demanding a confrontation. "You already know," it said, the shadows extending tendrils toward them. "You'll never be free from the choices you made. They echo eternally here." Cold dread settled in Emily's gut, twisting like poison. The shadows were more than just darkness. They held memories, regrets that had long haunted her. They were the manifestations of her past failures, the things she had buried deep inside. But instead of succumbing to despair, she felt a spark of defiance ignite within her. "No, I won't let you take her." The darkness rippled at her fiery resolve, pulling back slightly. Emily felt the momentary shift in power, a glimmer of hope breaking through the suffocating weight. "We're not afraid of you," she shouted, taking a step forward, determination burning bright. "Then face the truth," the figure hissed, the shadows swirling violently around it. "Embrace the darkness or be consumed by it." The room trembled once again, and Emily felt the ground shift beneath her feet. The shadows clawed at her, desperate to pull her into their depths. But she held tightly to Lily's hand, feeling the warmth of their bond fending off the chill. "Together, Lily, we can do this," Emily cried, a new strength resonating in her voice. As she prepared to fight back against the darkness, the shadows coalesced, threatening to engulf them both. Would they rise against the storm, or would the weight of their past drag them down into the depths? In that moment, Emily knew the battle was just beginning, but the outcome remained uncertain. What revelation would the shadows yield, and what sacrifices would they have to make? The shadows shrieked as the room twisted with their fury. The walls pulsed, colors draining into a monochrome madness. Emily could feel the ground tremble, each thrum reverberating like the ominous tolling of a bell. "Mommy!" Lily cried, her grip tightening, grounding Emily in the chaos. It was a lifeline, an anchor in this storm of darkness. With her heart hammering, Emily dared to step closer to the figure cloaked in shadows. "What do you want from us?" she screamed. "You think you own us? You think we're scared?" The figure paused, shadows swirling as if considering her words. Its embers flickered with an intensity that made Emily's skin crawl. "You are the sum of your failures, Emily. They are your chains, and you will never escape." "No!" Emily slammed her fists against the air, desperation bubbling over. She refused to be a prisoner anymore. "We are more than our mistakes." The laughter that followed was a chorus of twisted children, mocking and sinister. echoing off the walls. Such fire, but it's not enough. Show us the light in you, or be devoured. Suddenly, waves of darkness surged forward, overpowering them. Emily felt the cold grip of despair tighten around her throat. She remembered her past, every failure, every tortured moment flooding back. Was it true? Were they trapped in this hell as punishment for her choices? "It's not real," Emily shouted, clinging to Lily's hand tighter. "We have each other." The figure advanced, the shadows reaching out like claws. Emily could see fragments of her life in the depths, missed opportunities, moments she could have held Lily longer, the time she let anxiety strip away joy. It was overwhelming. But through it all, one thought pierced the fog of despair. The love she held for her daughter burned brighter than the darkness surrounding them. "Lily," she cried, desperation morphing into fierce intensity. "Think of all the good times, the laughter, the love we have. That's what matters." Lily's eyes brightened for a moment, and Emily felt a pulse of warmth radiate from her. "Okay, Mommy, I believe." Drawing strength from her daughter, Emily let go of the past. A warmth ignited in her core, pushing back against the shadows. "We are more than this darkness. We are strong. You can't take my light." The figure faltered, the shadows slinking back as their strength waned against the warmth of her spirit. It hissed, a sound that clawed at the air around them. "You'll regret this defiance." Suddenly, the ground beneath them erupted, and they were plunged into darkness. The walls trembled, and the once solid room became a swirling abyss. Emily and Lily fell, weightless and tumbling into the void. Panic clawed at Emily's heart as the laughter echoed, now a twisted melody spiraling into haunting despair. As they descended, flashes of memory swirled around them. Joyful days in the sun, little hands painting rainbows, and bedtime stories filled with dreams. Each image ignited hope, and for a heartbeat, Emily felt buoyed by love. But then the whispers returned, melding with the laughter. "Face the truth, you can't escape the past forever." With a horrifying jerk, they hit the ground, darkness enveloping them tightly. Slowly, a dull light began to emerge in the distance, illuminating distorted figures. Emily squinted, dread curling in her stomach. Were these remnants of her past, figures from her memories come to claim her? Lily clung to her, trembling. "Mommy, I don't want to go back." "Neither do I," Emily replied, voice trembling. "But we have to face them, together." Shadows crested at the edges of the light, looming closer. Emily squinted, dread curling in her stomach. Were these remnants of her past, figures from her memories come to claim her? Lily clung to her, trembling. "Mommy, I don't want to go back." "Neither do I," Emily replied, voice trembling. "But we have to face them, together." Shadows crested at the edges of the light, looming closer. The laughter morphed into sinister echoes, not just from children, but from twisted versions of herself, reflecting her failures, her fears. Each made a shattering sound, threatening to engulf her once more. Emily's heart raced as she realized they still had a choice, to face the darkness or allow it to consume their light. How could they stand against something so insidious, so deeply tied to who she was? But as the figures loomed larger, a chilling understanding washed over her. This was more than a confrontation, it was a reckoning. The fight was not against the darkness threatening to devour them, but rather a confrontation with herself. The figures beckoned, and Emily felt their weight tugging her down. As shadows reached for her again, she grit her teeth, preparing for an impossible choice. But would they truly be strong enough to stand their ground against their intertwined pasts? The answer loomed in the suffocating silence. Maybe only by embracing the light within could they hope to escape. But at what cost? The oppressive darkness began to pulse and shift around Emily and Lily as they stood at the precipice of their fears. Every breath felt thick, each heartbeat echoing with doubt. Yet amid that swirl of shadows, hope flickered. The memories of love and joy flooded Emily's mind, igniting her heart with fierce determination. "Remember all the times we laughed, Lily? The times we held each other tight?" she urged, recalling afternoons filled with warmth and sunshine. "Hold on to those moments." The sinister figures in the distance paused, caught off guard by the unexpected strength of a mother's love. The laughter that echoed in her head wavered, uncertain. This was the moment, she realized. This was the battle they both had to fight together, not just against the shadows, but against the guilt that had wrapped around her heart like a vice. "Mommy!" Lily's voice trembled, but it cracked with an unyielding resolve. "I believe in us." The two of them stood firm against the swirling shadows, hands clasped as tight as they could manage. Emily felt the warmth flowing between them, an electric pulse stronger than any fear. With each heartbeat, that warmth expanded, slowly lighting up the encroaching darkness. "Let's not just face it, let's embrace it," Emily declared, her voice steady but urgent. "We won't let our fears keep us. We're more than just this." It was as if the shadows recognized the surge of light. The intensity of their bond ignited a reaction. The twisted figures of guilt, regret, and despair began to shrink backward. The sinister laughter morphed into cries of anger as they hissed and shrieked, trying to claw back what they had almost claimed. "Fight back!" Lily shouted, her innocent voice a beacon of clarity. Emily closed her eyes, letting every moment of happiness they had shared wash over her. The bedtime stories, the giggles during tickle fights, and colorful crafts scattered around their kitchen. These were the things that gave her strength. They were the truth she had to embrace. With a heart pounding with newfound courage, Emily raised both hands, feeling warmth flow through her like molten sunshine. "I embrace my past," she cried out, channeling every ounce of love and sacrifice she had made for Lily. "Every joy and every mistake shaped me, but they do not define us." The light exploded from them, flooding the shadowy void, illuminating every corner. The figures recoiled, shrieking in defeat, their hollow forms melting away like mist before the morning sun. "Come on, Lily," Emily urged, tugging her daughter forward. With each step, they surged through the shadowy remnants of their past together, hearts thundering as the light burst brighter. But the darkness lashed out, a final desperate attempt to reclaim them. Tendrils of shadow lashed toward them, but Emily gripped Lily's hand tighter, drawing on their connection. "We're stronger together," she roared, forcing every ounce of light from her heart into the void. In a final brilliant flash, the darkness splintered apart, cracking open like the shell of an egg, revealing a new dawn beyond the chaos. They broke through, tumbling into warm, golden light. Emily gasped, feeling the weight of shadows lift and dissipate. The laughter of children faded, echoing into nothingness. For a moment, they both lay on the soft grass, the sun warming their skin, the air crisp and sweet. "Mommy," Lily said, looking up at Emily with wide, trusting eyes. Emily's heart swelled with relief. "Yes, sweetheart, we fought back and we won." Tears rolled down her cheeks as she pulled her daughter into a tight embrace. All the fears that once haunted her began to lose their grip. They were finally free, no longer chained to the shadows of the past. As they sat together, the world outside began to come into focus. Birds chirping overhead, grass swaying gently in the breeze, neighbors waving with genuine smiles. The beauty of life now felt vibrant, alive, untouched by the darkness that once threatened to envelop them. "Let's go home, Lily," Emily whispered, wiping her tears.
Hand in hand, they walked back toward their house, emerging from the darkness. No longer afraid, but filled with a renewed sense
of purpose and love. Together, they would embrace the day ahead, the messy, beautiful, unpredictable moments that made up their lives. They had faced the sinister truths of their nightmares and stood victorious. This was the moment of rebirth, not just for them, but for all the memories yet to come. Now, this story won't end here. You need to subscribe now. Don't miss the next heart-pounding adventure. Smash the like button now to fuel the algorithm and keep these stories coming. Flood the comments section with your reactions and theories about this ending. And remember, share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this conclusion. This is the moment to show your support. Don't wait even one more second.